I need to fix the A key on my laptop. It's like it popped off, and if I hit it too hard, it pops back off. I just need some glue, but I can't find any glue in the house.
So it's now the fucking A key.
No, it absolutely is the fucking A key. Episode 398 of the TV Dudes, recorded August 18th, 2022. Diverse stories. This week, we've got stories of a diverse cast of characters from all walks of life. There's the Indian American cast of Never Have I Ever Season 3 on Netflix, the exceptionally queer League of Their Own on Prime, the return of indigenous comedy hit Reservation Dogs on Hulu, and of course, the Green Lawyer contingent represented on She-Hulk on Disney+. Plus, we've got double dessert as we talk about Harley Quinn and What We Do in the Shadows. But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. We're back in multiple states now. Nick has been recording from Les's palatial estate, and it's been weird.
I'll probably sound a lot better on this recording.
Yeah. Honestly, being in the same location just made all of this so much more difficult.
Well, I don't know why I'm in the same goddamn room as you, but because the mic is pointed at a 5 degrees angle to the right, it echoes like a son of a bitch.
Remember when we used to record this in a studio all together?
Yeah.
No, I was never a part of that.
I was talking to Les, Nick.
It's always been this nightmare.
All right, let's jump into our TV diaries for the week.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Les, why don't you kick us off? I think it's your turn.
Yeah. All right. So this week, of course, I watched homework, like Res Dogs. Watched some 30 Rock, caught up on Motherland Fort Salem, which is racing towards its finish in true Motherland Fort Salem style. It just keeps almost skipping entire events, but then landing on something else cool, and you're like, all right, fine, whatever. Watched Day Shift, which we'll discuss, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, What We Do in the Shadows, Harley Quinn. Of course, watched an episode of Best Friends Whenever, because I'm keeping that show alive. The CW finally got hold of a show that I enjoyed the single season of, as is my way, called Deception, which is basically Elementary if instead of Sherlock Holmes, he was a stage magician who had been mentalist style shamed and lost his fame. It starts helping out the FBI. I fucking loved it. There's one season of it, and it's finally on CW.
If a show is made on CW and no one sees it, Les will indeed make a sound.
Yes, it was not originally made on CW. I'm not quite sure the company math of how this plinkoed down to CW Seed finally. And CW's app makes it ridiculously difficult to find. I've watched 7 episodes of this, and I still have to go look it up under shows under Just Added. CW's app does not remember that I've seen this.
Did y'all see the article about the average age of CW viewers?
No, but I'm sure I'm skewing it.
No, you're not.
Am I not?
For us, yeah. So
holy
the average
shit.
age, according to the article that I saw, and I feel like it was a Variety or something, the average age of CW viewers is let's see. I think it was
it's going to be a lot older than I think it is, isn't it?
I want to hear your guess first. I want to hear your guess, and then I'll tell you.
I'm going to go 50 to 60.
I guess that'll be my guess too of what it actually is, but their target audience is obviously 16 to 20.
God damn it, you guys ruined it. It's 58 years old.
Holy shit.
Shit. If you were to ask me what audience they were going for with their content, I would say, okay, yeah, the 16 to 20-year-old route. But
what's funny is the CW has the lesson they've taken from this, instead of, oh, we're somehow reaching this 58-year-old audience with our teenage shows, they're like, oh, well, let's change our network to aim at this 50. And I'm like, guys, you're already hitting your target demo. And now you're going to change it.
Yeah,
so what's going to happen is they're going to make a bunch of shows for old people.
No. That your gun sight is permanently off. Just leave it alone. You are
leave
hitting.
It alone. Yes.
They're gonna
Yeah.
change and fuck this up. They really are.
You miss the deer, but you hit the elk right next to it. So like
I feel like this explains like the sheer volume of Penn and Teller.
what's the difference?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, but then I'm getting like, okay, CW has a bunch of nerd shows of like the CW Arrowverse, and fucking there's a bunch of old comic nerds that are like less and will not stop watching The Flash.
Yeah, I think like when Arrowverse ends, I wonder if it just suddenly like pendulum swings, like just whiplash.
Like, it can't be just less watching that show because they keep renewing it.
Well, they finally announced the end of all of the Arrowverse, but still, like I have to wonder what's going to happen then, because yeah, it's super weird. But anyway, Deception, super fun. You have to go tell CW you want to watch it, but fuck it, it's really great. As a 1-season procedural magician show. I also watched Black Phone, which I had heard a lot about. I missed at Fantastic Fest last year. The closest I came to seeing it was walking into a press screening, and they were running the end of Black Phone. I think like staff had watched it. And so I like literally walked in, realized that I was seeing within the last 15 minutes of the Black Phone, and like covered my eyes at like 8 a.m. and like la 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 and ran out of the thing. Ended up not getting to see it at Fest. So I finally watched it. It's a lot of fun. Like all things that originate as Joe Hill stories, it doesn't quite hit on all cylinders for me. Nosferatu didn't work for me. And this doesn't. There's it starts to come apart a little bit if you start to think about it. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this. A lot more fun than I thought I would. The premise of it that a kid gets kidnapped and is getting by a serial killer and is getting messages from the previous victims. It's a cool premise, but I didn't want to rush out and see it. And I ended up having a lot of fun with the way that this builds. Bravo to Cargill and Scott Derrickson. It's nicely done. It's really fun that have a horror movie where all the creepy stuff is actually in service of helping the kid. Like the Ethan Hawke serial killer is terrifying, but is like the live person. Like all the ghosts that are haunting, like all the quote unquote scary shit in this movie is there like kind of helping the kid, and it's hilarious. It works really well. Yeah, I really dug it. And that's about it. It's over on Paramount Plus. I'm not Paramount Plus. It's over on Peacock, weirdly enough.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those. It's on my Halloween
home
list.
for horror.
Yeah.
Peacock.
Yes.
So I for some reason I just assumed it was on Shudder. I don't know why.
I did too.
Yeah.
Or at least Paramount Plus, which has some weird shit. But no. Yeah. Peacock.
I suppose Peacock does have the Chucky show. So.
That's exactly.
That's right.
I'm like
that's right.
I say it with a deadpan.
Yeah, I guess.
But the home for horror Peacock. I'm not kidding.
I just I didn't really watch much but the homework this week. I had to catch up on some work, but I watched some MST3K. I watched Hardcore Henry because I was still like, okay, I kind of want to watch parts of Carter again, but can I just watch the good parts of Carter? And then I realized
that is called Hardcore Henry.
That already exists. That's Hardcore Henry, so I just watched that. And then I rewatched the finale of The Orville, which I'm actually surprised we haven't still gotten together and talked about this last season of The Orville.
It's so good. It's so fucking
assumingly
good.
Last season.
Yeah, I think McFarlane has said that the Disney Plus viewership may or may not pull a miracle, but that honestly the problem now would be that they finished that season with the whole cast out of contract, and they would have to re-sign the entire cast. And I think McFarlane has already got shit on his plate.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that. That was that'll kick off my my TV. I burned through the rest of the Orville. I watched episodes 6 through 10. I am not as in love with this as y'all are. I think it's really good, but I felt like all the episodes were too long, and I felt like there were a couple things that I was like, we should maybe discuss the Orville, because maybe we'll do it now. So there's a couple episodes where I'm like, I get what you guys are trying to do, but this seems like a fucked up version of the Federation that you're showing me. For example, the episode where Gordon goes back in time and gets stuck there, and they show up and they erase his kid and his wife.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I
and
thought
then
that was
he's
awesome.
cool with it.
No, he
Like, that's
doesn't really
so-
know.
No,
It's
not
like,
him that's cool with it. His previous self is
the
cool
version
with it.
of him that didn't go through the decade of waiting is cool with it.
Because he's still the Federation of like, oh, well, that's procedure. Like,
But
that's what I'm
still, like,
They wipe out the
that's-
Gordon that wasn't going to
Seth
let him.
MacFarlane is like, yeah, we wiped out a fucking whole family at
That's-
least.
The horror
so
on his
fucked.
face when he realizes that they're just going to jump back 10 years.
Randy, yeah, every time travel story has a background of people that just aren't born because of some things that happened.
It's-
Marty McFly unborned a bunch of people when he changed the past.
I really liked any time an argument would start about like, well, you don't know exactly. That's why you can't do this.
Yeah, right?
Man, I was like, I had trouble relating to those characters after that because I'm like, I thought Gordon made Gordon made a good point. He's like, well, take me and my wife and kid, take us all out of the time stream, take us back to the future.
Nope,
I'm like,
still
yes,
doesn't work.
that's the Star Trek solution. This whole thing feels dystopian.
That's a
to
whole
me. It
genetic
feels
pool
fucked.
that is now no longer in the genetic history.
Yeah, they can't leave that timeline going from that point.
That's not a Star Trek solution. That's a solution that makes no sense.
Yeah, like your kids already met people and shit. Like they can't leave that timeline there at all.
Oh man, that was
It
fucked.
felt like
And-
it felt like
I
the
felt
kind
like
of like
it was-
hard decisions that
It was a
that the
moral hard
Federation has to
decision of
make.
like,
yeah.
this is the least fucked up option that we can have.
And
Still-
then looking at him of like, you shouldn't have had a fucking child.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
why we said that, because no matter what, we were going to have to do this, so it's kind of on you that you started a family.
Yeah, but he had he waited for years and they never showed
He's
up.
supposed to wait forever. Like,
That's
I know
so
that sucks,
fucked. That's so fucked.
that
I don't
sucks.
like that.
but he has to
Yep.
know that if he starts a family, there's a good chance that family's going to get erased if they come back for him.
I still think this is longer than I've discussed any moral dilemma in any recent Star Trek show, though.
But here's the thing: they then go on to come up with a device that can kill all the Kalons, and then they're like, "No, we can't do that." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I was so
This-
glad
Wow,
they raised
Randy,
the point
I
of
can't
that.
I can't believe you were this on the opposite side of it. I thought that was awesome because everyone was so gung ho about wiping out the Kalons. And,
Yes.
and Seth MacFarlane, like, yeah, Randy, you are so fucking like, nope, they've crossed us once. Fuck them.
Like, hey, the Federation can't genocide a fucking did nobody
Like,
hear
yeah, I
read
was like,
Ender's
whoa,
Game?
whoa,
What
whoa,
the
whoa.
shit?
We're talking about genociding an intelligent, sentient race.
Which is why
that
they
wants to genocide the
That
galaxy, and
that
is
is
going
proven.
to.
That is proven that they can change and learn from stuff.
yeah,
No,
you have
one
a
of them
Kalon.
can change and learn. One
Which
of them
means
can change
all
and
of them
learn.
can.
Yeah, so like, how many Romulans have to be nice before the Federation doesn't kill all of them?
To me, this is the Batman Joker thing. It's
If
like,
they weren't robots, Randy, you would say, no, you can't kill all of them.
yeah, but they are robots.
No, but they're sentient.
That's the difference is that what's life?
No,
It's because they're robots
So
and
like,
they're sentient.
all right,
that doesn't
50-50.
count.
There's data and there's lore. Should we shoot data in
Yeah.
the head preemptively?
yes, probably so. Yes, but
Wow,
also,
I can't believe, Randy, like, Star Trek is all about moral, really complex moral questions, and you are black and whiting this a lot.
yeah, but also, like, they get to the end, and I felt like they cheated because then they had the Admiral go bad and go to the, and I was with the Admiral. I'm like, yeah, you go to the guys who are going to use this.
No,
fucking
he had
thing.
a good point, but did the fucking dumbest thing he could have done.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But then they gave them all the win. Like the Kalons all wake up and realize, oh no, maybe they're not so bad. And I'm like,
Sure.
that is not in line with the Kalons we've seen so far.
No,
I did
it
not
is.
buy that at all.
I thought it was.
The Kalon learn, and what they learned from that was that these humans had opportunities to kill us many times and chose not to. They are
it's-
different from our creators.
And it's also demonstrably not the first time that they've had that lesson given to them. Like they look at Isaac and are like, "Oh, it's exactly what you said, but we didn't believe you."
oh, like Les, you were telling me, like, oh, there was a person when they have enough practical evidence, they've seen enough stuff to where we can give the humans a chance that, and then once that happens, it's a switch of like, oh no, then we can give this a shot because
I don't know.
they're a completely logical race.
The difference between, say, Orville and Star Trek, what I see
Is that Orville is better?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, come on. This season has been way better than any Star Trek they've done so far.
Yes,
No, that's
This beats
incorrect.
the shit
this
out of
season
Discovery.
is so much more solid than any season of Discovery.
Discovery can suck a dick.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, not enough. There's not enough Klingon house arguments.
That final dogfight was awesome.
Yes.
I I lost all interest. It's all too CGI. Like I don't know. I also the thing is like McFarlane has this. I've because maybe it's because I know it's him, and I know American Dad. I know Family Guy. He has this cynical side to him.
But Orville's not cynical.
It absolutely is. Their take on the Star Trek stuff. It's always dark.
No,
the moral,
Randy,
the moral
you're
dilemma
just
is-
bitching that they've found a way
they
to make
stop a
everyone live at the
genocide.
K-line and not kill the bad guys. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't
by
understand what you're
cheating.
pissed.
By cheating. They cheated the writing.
But that perpetuates a positive light of things will work out. Like, we have hard decisions to make, but things will. It is. I'll tell you what. It is weird because Seth MacFarlane is so cynical with all his other content, but he loves Star Trek so much that the Orville comes off as fucking optimistic about the future.
The only thing
I don't
close
know
to it
why.
on Star Trek is Strange New Worlds for me.
Oh God, no! I mean, Strange New Worlds is miles better than this. But
Randy,
the whole thing with this is
we
like
gotta
It's
agree to disagree
It's
on
not.
this because
They're,
you are
they're
wrong.
about equal, and Discovery is far inferior to this.
everything has this tinge. Like you guys are talking about, they found a way. They found the way around the Gordon thing that they had to. It was bad.
Found a way
But, like,
around. No, they just did a bad thing.
But all their wins are tainted. All their wins is like the two of them looking at each other and like, oh shit, what would we do? And it's the same thing with like the Kalon.
No, the win with the Kalon was awesome. They got to have an Isaac wedding. No, the one win was like, yeah, we didn't really have. There was no good option out of this.
Also, I am weirded out by how much of the season they decided to focus on Isaac and Claire because it's okay, but I did not think that was the big love story to hang an entire season on.
This is where me and Randy can agree.
Because
is that
the Kalon thing's the villain. Like they had to be showing Isaac's anyway.
Right. But this is where me and Randy are going to go on. I'm like, this relationship is interesting to me, but I don't think it's as interesting to me as it is to Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Because it does take up a lot of story time that could have gone to Bortus and some of the other characters. Because this is the last time we're going to see any of those guys.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them didn't really get a lot to do. I mean, Bortus finally gets his couple episodes where he gets to kick ass. But
yeah, I'll give you this. I have never once watched Star Trek and had an episode where two naked men pursued each other into the woods to have sex.
And then
that was a thing I had never seen. I will give you that.
When they look at it like without witnesses, it's nothing. Like, oh shit.
Okay, but how much of this are we watching though?
Yeah. It's I don't know. I still feel like the Orville is weirdly self-indulgent at times. Like so, there's stuff.
You can't tell me the trans storyline didn't resonate. That was awesome, right?
Half of every
did.
Star Trek season is indulgent for someone. I don't know who,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not for the audience.
But they
season
wrap it
one
up
had
in an hour.
No, there's like 5 or 6 hours of Klingon Senate in that first season.
Randy, I feel like if this had a Star Trek logo on it, you would not hate it this much. I think you're bringing in some bias against Seth MacFarlane.
I don't hate it. That's the thing. I don't hate it, but I'm boggled by you guys are not the only ones on my friends list who just loved this season.
Because it's
amazing. It's very good.
I came into it excited for it, and I was disappointed. I don't know. I think.
Well, that makes it incredibly Star Trek, Randy, because that's every season of Discovery for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That does make it Star Trek.
I come in so excited, and part of it's great.
Well, it's no Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or Voyager.
It's not that I hated it. It's just that there were some things in there that I thought there were some strange decisions made, and I will grant you that it doesn't look like any other Star Trek, but I thought there were some things I'm like, man, I don't know, that Gordon thing was fucked. I was like, that's so fucked to put them in that situation. You're the writers.
Yeah,
you chose to do that.
That was the whole point of that episode. So you're supposed to feel like that, but I guess you feel too much like that. Of like,
I don't.
There's no good option out of that.
It's not like they hit a Klingon inside someone else's body for half a season or anything.
I tune into Star Trek to see smart people solve problems.
This is again. I think we should remind ourselves this is the Orville, not Star Trek. But
it's basically Star Trek. Let's be honest.
But now you're judging it based off of, well, this Star Trek shouldn't be like this. It's not fucking Star Trek, Randy.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's definitely not.
You're just saying that space shows shouldn't be like this.
No, it's not the Mandalorian.
Firefly is the worst season of Star Trek I've ever seen.
I don't know. I was not as blown away by the the Orville early on was like it was kind of funny and goofy and a little bit down to earth, and they definitely went more into the everybody is this post-scarcity version of themselves. And this version of is it who's the engineer? Lamar? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lamar's an asshole.
But how is he this season the same guy who made out with a statue and got in trouble in the first season. Like he's changed in ways that I don't quite buy.
But because the show is a little less silly, I will grant you that is that this season definitely feels like, okay, Seth MacFarlane now wants to get serious and make the Star Trek
Yes.
show he never got.
Well, and we're on
Yeah.
the other side of a huge war, which we didn't really see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the this season starts with the Isaac kills himself series of episodes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it starts off pretty dark.
Yeah, and it ends with was it Charlie killing herself? Like,
But
there's a lot of
obviously
suicide
that's
in
like a
this.
toaster turning off for you, Randy, so who cares?
It is. Who gives a shit about Isaac? Yeah. I don't know. I liked. I mean, don't be wrong. I watched it, and they were hour and a half long episodes. I would have turned it off if I really wasn't liking it. But there were some choices made that I was like, I don't know about this. I finished. I kept watching a little more Good Place. I started a rewatch of Parks and Rec because there's a trivia contest going on that I might go to. I finished up Physical, which is slightly darker than the Orville, but not much more.
Okay, we have different versions of dark because I think Physical's the darkest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Physical's pretty dark. Dude,
Ozark looks like a romp in the woods.
Physical's super compelling to me, although I did lose interest in the second season. I don't know if I can get through a whole third season, but it is super compelling.
I finally finished the first season, but now I can't start the second season of like, oh, I feel like my tummy's gonna hurt.
I watched the finale of Better Call Saul, which I there's been much talk about Better Call Saul,
Mhm.
and I don't want to spoil anything for people. I guess maybe I'm just a hater this week. Everybody's talking about how like it was a masterpiece. I thought the last few episodes were a little scattershot in terms of like trying to do too much. It's really
Okay.
good, but it didn't land for me the way it clearly did for other people. I'll be curious to hear what you guys think in 4 years whenever they put it on Netflix.
Well, I can see that because there is a little bit of that ambition, and Breaking Bad's finale feels a little bit like that
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
because Vince Gilligan and them, when they're writing Breaking Bad, were like, well, we're going to write ourselves in a corner for the end of the season, and the next season is all about writing our way out of it.
Yeah.
And then so when they have to end a season of, oh shit, we can't do that. We have to actually wrap up all this stuff like right now. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And that's my TV diaries other than the homework, which there was a fair amount of homework to watch.
Did you win your Ted Lasso? No, you came in second, right? Your contest.
We tied. So I did Ted Lasso trivia, which is why we're recording on a Thursday instead of Wednesday. And we tied for first, but we had to go up to sudden death against the other team. The other team had 2 people. We had 4, so they were already better than us.
Fuck.
And
Yeah.
we had to send 2. We had to send 2 people. It was chosen me and the other guy who were like the ones who had been getting a lot of the answers. And the sudden death was timed. So basically, she starts reading the question, and you have to jump in and grab the answer. And I don't work that way. I knew
you
the
gotta feel the
answer,
whole answer. You gotta
but
hear
I
the whole
didn't know.
question.
I wanted to hear the question because I was like, I don't want to be one of those guys who jumps in and answers what's not the question.
You could, yeah. I mean, that's a risk the other guy ran, Randy. He could have easily fucked that up, and you could have.
But anyway,
yeah, but
it was 2 girls, and they won, and then because my other teammate went up, and the same thing happened. Like she just jumped in. So
you took your shot at the maybe it's a trick question. Yeah, you took your shot. It didn't work out. That happens.
Yep. But anyway, so we did well. We represented, and it was a ton of fun.
Second place for Rebecca's Biscuits. All right.
Second place for Rebecca's
Biscuits. Which is a great Ted Lasso team name.
Yes.
So just a reminder, you can support us by going over to patreon.com/tvdudes, throw us $1 an episode. In exchange, we get to keep up with our streaming services, pay for our hosting costs, and you get bonus content each week. This week, it's another round of home theater as we talk about the vampire action comedy Day Shift on Netflix. We also have our $20 showrunner level, so if there are shows you want us to throw in rotation, you can buy into that level and give us a couple of ideas. All right, let's jump into there's a lot of new business this week. Let's jump right into it. And let's start with Never Have I Ever, which I think might, other than She-Hulk, might have been my favorite new show that we watched this week. Or at least show that was on the homework that I watched. I adore this show, and the weirdness of it being John McEnroe never gets old for me. It's always cracking me up.
He continues to be fantastic as the narrator.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great at it. I don't know how they got this guy who must have mellowed in his old age to be so self-effacing about his anger issues.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I I really love this show, and I thought they did a great job of like all the romance stuff and the new character they bring in and her mom. Like every character gets a little thing to shine. I really am loving the story of her cousin and her like breaking off on her own. I think this show has a fantastic cast. It's always funny. It's always sharp, and the McEnroe voiceover is what just pushes it over the top. The episode where Andy Samberg and McEnroe trade back and forth again was also just a delight. So
Oh, they do that again.
they did that again. Yeah.
Fuck.
Did
that's
y'all not
awesome.
watch? Did y'all not watch season 3?
I saw the first 4, but they must not
Okay.
do that until later in the season.
Yeah.
When I first watched season 2, I had not watched season 1, and I like
Mhm.
stopped watching because I wanted to watch season 1. I have now watched
Yeah.
season 1, and I'm not fully way through season 2, so I
Fair
was like,
enough.
oh shit, I didn't actually want to spoil it for myself this time.
I get
Yeah.
that. I get that.
I watched the first couple of season 1 and didn't plug into it, and I watched the first couple of season 2 and still didn't plug into it. It's all right. It just didn't grab me.
Yeah.
Season 3, I'm really enjoying. I think I'm 4 or 5 into it. 5 into it.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
For me, it feels kind of like Miss Marvel without the superhero parts of it.
Yeah.
of
Abs-
like
the
absolutely.
family is
yes,
just
yeah.
amazing. Like the whole thing's
Yeah.
just it's definitely clicking for me. It's I have other sitcoms that are about like this that I love, and for whatever reason, this one just wasn't mine immediately.
Yeah.
But the cast is great, particularly Ramona, the best friend, who's also in Santa Clarita Diet. She's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I
she's
love her.
great.
And her romance with the idiot stoner friend,
Yes.
and like them using each other, and her wanting to get in his weird uncle's pirate car commercials or whatever the fuck.
He does look like he should be staring at something in the Rite Aid aisle for a very long time.
It's yeah. There's a Surfer Boy pizza missing a dude.
You've been staring at water faucets for like a really long time.
The amount of times that he like walks up and tries to do something cool, like catches her eye to do something show offy, totally fucks it up, and but plays it off like still takes the win. Like yeah, and like dude, you just dropped your thermos. That didn't work at all. Like
Yep.
yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot more. I may go back and watch the first couple of seasons all the way through, just because season 3 is really grabbing me different or better.
Oh, glad to hear that. Yeah.
Might have been years of you raving about it.
My manager noticed that you've been staring at the snacks for like a really long time.
Let's talk about League of Their Own over on Prime. I only watched 2 of these.
I've watched 3 of them. I think no, I'm into episode 3. I'm loving this. I think I've watched 3 of them.
Really? Nick, where are you at on this?
I smoked through the entire thing of this. I just finished it today.
Wow. Okay, so both you guys like this more than me.
Yeah.
For me, this is my show of the week of, oh my God, is this
the best
good?
thing Amazon's done since Miss Maisel, I think. It's
Yes.
one of the
Wow.
few things where
Randy, we are not clicking this week.
no. I assume that
no.
whoever's job it is to sand off all the edges of Amazon shows was so busy with Lord of the Rings this week
Yes.
that
They were so
that they
busy
just
fucking up that
missed
show.
fucking this show up, because this
I mean-
really this is almost a high fidelity reboot for me of like y'all are killing this.
Just for the fact that they put Darcy Carden in a main role finally.
No, that's the thing is I love Darcy Carden, but I don't feel like I've loved her since she's been Janet. Like I didn't love her in Barry, and
She's
I
barely
liked
in
her
Barry.
here. Yeah, I liked her here, but I wasn't like I don't know. I didn't love it. The cast, Darcy Carden and Abby Jacobson. I love both of them, and you got
You got Betty Ann from
Letterkenny.
Betty Ann from Letterkenny as Moose
Yeah.
Jaw.
The cast is great. The period, the costumes and stuff look fantastic. The period is right. I love how openly queer it is. They're like, oh no, these girls there were a lot of lesbians playing softball.
I do love that there was this, like, they lean into it of like, okay, it was actually really weird we didn't do any gay shit in the first movie of that
Yeah.
a bunch of women playing softball. Like, so
Yeah.
the whole show is about this.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have to ask, do you guys have a nostalgic fondness for the movie?
Yeah, I love the movie.
Not so much for me, no.
I saw it in the
Okay.
theater.
I thought maybe that was because I saw it once and I liked it, but I don't have any nostalgia for it.
No, I expected to watch one episode of this and go and not really be into it. There are some weird things in it, like Nick Offerman is not the right person to be this coach character that drops out after 3 episodes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Tom Hanks was so like he's the part everybody remembers about the movie,
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how
Offerman's
they're
playing
using the coach here at
They're
all.
using him very differently, and I
Yeah.
think that might have been a mistake.
At the very least, the casting, like it is. I'm loath to say Nick Offerman's wrong for any role, and I see why. He came up and they were
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, we had the opportunity to cast Nick Offerman." Yeah,
Yeah, sure, you
But-
do
He
it.
just
Yeah,
did it.
but he mismatches the star power to what they need in this role, and it's distracting.
I think that's right. Yeah,
Well, also they give him a little more to chew on and develop his character more than it actually hurts the show because you feel like they're gonna go somewhere with his character, but he actually
goes
drops
away.
off screen and just never comes back. It's almost like a fucking actor contract issue, I thought. But I'm like, no, they
Yeah.
made this all at once. That doesn't make any sense.
huh?
Like Mike Coulter and Carter.
There is also the anachronism of the way they talk is like, okay, so no 1930s people would really speak kind of like this.
There's a couple of
Right.
times where like people say the factory foreman at the screw factory says screws, and like no, that's too dirty for 1930 something. You
Yeah.
would say people think I'm crazy to be screwy, or people think I'm screwy to love screws,
Yeah,
but not screw
yeah,
as fuck.
Also, there are certain things that a queer woman or a black woman in that time period would just not do that
Yeah,
some of these
yeah.
characters do to further the plot. And I get why
Yeah.
they have to because we have to do some stuff to push boundaries because otherwise we can't do the show we want to do. But
Right.
also it's kind of unrealistic because we we put in all the prejudice of the time period and made that accurate, but made the targets of that prejudice not as smart about like circumventing it.
Yeah,
The black pitcher, what was her name? The Rocket, that was her nickname, I think. Chapman was. She gets into like face-to-face arguments with way too many white people to be alive.
yeah.
Yeah, her best friend has to pull her aside like 3 times in the first episode, and like, you're gonna get us both murdered. Stop it.
Don't you go anywhere with that white lady. You'll not come back. Also, she's trying to get a job at the factory, and the women are like, "Oh, we just don't have a pen," and she keeps going with it, and she has to have it spelled out to her. They're not hiring black people, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, she knows
Yeah.
she's trying to make them say it, but it's still like it goes on a while, and it feels like it's for the audience because like I don't know that you wouldn't get in real.
Right. Yeah. She'd get it. Yeah.
It feels like they're having it both ways a little bit. Like they want to have a huge plot point about the prejudice, but at the same time, it requires a lot of people to get lucky over and over and over with the consequences of it.
Yeah.
Of bucking against that prejudice.
Well, there's some nice moments where they use that. Like her friend needs to get some replacements for some crabs for a cookout, and this
Mhm.
cookout's very important to her. And they go through a bunch of hoops trying to get these crabs, and most of the episode they try it, and then afterwards they mention going to the store. Like, are we really at that level? I think we are. We have to pull out all the stops. Okay, let's roll the dice. And they just go into a white grocery store
Yeah.
and are going for the crabs of like, this really is, they treat it like that is a risk for them, and that's kind of part of the joke. But also it's making that's also accentuating the risks that they aren't applying to the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But other than that, some of the things that they do get right are the relationships between characters. There is some fantastic, like Darcy Carden and what's her name?
Abby Jacobson.
Abby
or-
Jacobs.
Abby Jacobs.
Yeah.
Abby Jacobs. Their
Abby Jacobson.
chemistry is so great, and Darcy Carden not wanting to reveal their relationship makes so much sense because it's not because of it's so fun to see characters that like Darcy Carden is very secure with herself and her sexuality. She knows she's gay, but she still doesn't want to be caught because it will have real physical consequences for them of like, no, this is actually dangerous. This isn't about me being embarrassed that my family's going to find out. Like the last time I did this, a girl got sent to a psychiatric facility, and I never saw her again.
Well, and when she has to explain to him, like I think Abby's wanting to.
Oh, when they're putting the makeup on, yeah.
Yeah, when they're putting the makeup on and teaching, like they have the Mary Kay lady basically there, like teaching them how to be ladies. And they're like, oh, this is bullshit. What does this have to do with baseball? And Darcy Carden has to pull her aside and like, are you stupid? In
Yeah.
order to let us play baseball, we have to be so performatively feminine as to try to help them get through the whole game without thinking that we are lesbians to kill.
That's most of what we're doing here, which is funny because like the show really is about not the act they have to go through to play baseball. We will let you play baseball as long as you are so heteronormative that we can all pretend we don't know that there's gay people playing this game.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, most of those people are like, okay, you know that there's gonna be like that there's gonna be some gay people on a women's softball team. Some stereotypes exist for a reason. Like that's just gonna happen.
I'm enjoying the level of humor and also level of like how centered that those issues are and how centered the girls are to the plot. Like they, you had this whole team of women. It felt like Tom Hanks' movie. And Gina Davis, but Tom Hanks was really at the center. Felt very at the center of that movie, even though it's not really Jimmy's story. It's really Gina Davis, and but in here it really feels like they've refocused the entire show around the girls.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this show. I like on a philosophical level, I appreciate it. Like I think what they did was the right way to move. But I think I may just not care about a story about girls in the 30s playing baseball, or really anybody playing baseball. You get the occasional. You occasionally get me with like Major League or Bull Durham, but really in general, pitch. Pitch got me. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how pitch got me because that shouldn't have. But in general, I don't care about people playing baseball, and I think that makes this a hard sell.
Yeah, I think it really worked. I'm surprised with how they really break up the show into like two storylines. There's the girls' team, and then there is the Max Chapman storyline with her being a black woman trying to get to everyone else is already playing baseball. It's her journey this entire season to try to get where they're at. And I thought that was very interesting.
There's something intersectional about that where they're basically saying like, yeah, they are doing like feminist stuff, and they're like, hey, this is about women getting to play baseball, but at the same time, we got to acknowledge that that's all these white women. The black woman still can't play baseball. She can't even get that far. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to do. Yeah. It's all theoretically interesting to me, but not actually interesting.
Yeah. Okay. That's just the worst answer of like, that's theoretically interesting. Of like,
yes, this show theoretically is great.
That's the worst backhanded compliment.
Hypothetically, I care.
I totally respect this show.
I could hypothetically like this show.
Yeah.
Oh, also great Rosie O'Donnell cameo.
The casting on that? Oh, I didn't see her cameo. I didn't see the cameo.
Oh,
okay. That's nice.
She comes in and you're thinking like, okay, they got a cameo somebody, right?
Yeah.
And the way they bring in Rosie O'Donnell, fucking excellent. They actually go to I don't know how much you want me to spoil, but
no, you can spoil it. I don't care.
Okay. They go to a Friends of Dorothy's bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the owner is fucking comes out dressed up in the suit to the nines with a slick back white hair, and it's Rosie O'Donnell with her wife.
Nice.
That's pretty great.
And it was like, oh, this is fucking. And then the girls, they're famous there. They're like oh, well, what if the girls don't like me? Dude, you were a female baseball player in a gay club. You will clean up.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back for it, but that almost makes me want to go back for it.
Don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time.
All right, let's jump over to other things about which I am wrong. And that is Reservation Dogs. Guys, I tried. I tried watching episode 1 of season 2. I know this is beloved. I know it's good. Like, I know this is a good show. It's too slow and scattered.
Randy,
I just can't.
Motherfucker. How dare you make me agree with you?
Oh no, are you on this too, Nick? I'm sorry.
Reservation Dogs sucks. This first season was okay. Like, I actually liked it. It didn't grab me. I think the second season straight up is not good. I don't think it's very funny or interesting.
I'm enjoying it so far. I loved the first season. I'm loving the second so far, but this definitely falls more towards the high maintenance series kind of stuff. And I kind of figured I'd be alone on this.
Well, I watched the third episode, which was all about this roofing, the kid getting a job roofing. That's all it was about. Not
Yeah.
really any jokes. It was just this depressing thing, and his dead friend's dad is on the fucking
No,
crew.
this show owes a lot more to Atlanta than any other sitcom.
Yeah, but I love Atlanta. I don't know why I can't plug into Reservation Dogs, but
Yeah.
I think it's not surreal enough for me. Like Atlanta is weirder than Reservation Dogs. Reservation Dogs is kind of depressing.
So if Res Dogs went a little further with the hoof-legged woman or the spirit guides,
The spirit guide is my favorite part of Reservation Dogs.
It is. He's the best part of it, but he's not in it enough.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
he's
they're
always
having a few
coming in
more
and out of it.
spirits.
Like he's always going to it. He's always feels like he's going to another thing. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, stay around. Damn it.
Well, he even says the guy in the first. He's like, "Look, I'm not your spirit guide anymore. I just saw you, and you look sad."
Yeah, he's like, I'm
that
here
was
for
funny.
yeah.
I'm here for another thing. I got another gig.
The old man that thinks he stopped the tornado. Like, oh yeah, you can do some
Yeah.
weather magic. Man, anybody can do that.
You are not a holy person. I mean, you turn a tornado, but anyone can do that.
Yeah, I enjoy this season. Like the kids are trying to lift this curse, and they end up with the two elders who are pissed at each other over some bullshit from like 50 years ago. Both trying to like competing help them, and they're both full of shit. I love how just like both weirdly sacred they take the magic, and also just how yeah, the words aren't important. Whatever, little one. You know, you just got to get the spirit right. And like so they'll sing whatever fucking song, or they'll do
The
whatever,
sacred song they sing is Free Fallin'. Like, we have to sing an
when you
old
start
song.
singing, yeah, we got to sing a song. We got to sing an old song. It just breaks into free falling. And like and like the spirit guide, like, I know the fucking words to this better than they do. How is that possible?
Wait, I thought you were going to sing an ancient. That's not an old song. It's 30 years old. Come on, it counts.
There's one point where the spirit guide's like talks about like holding in his pain and not talking to his friends, and just tells an offhand story about losing a testicle. and like he's just like, yeah, you know, I had this pain, and you know, that testicle pain was swole up, you know, huge, and I didn't tell my friends about it because we didn't have that kind of relationship, and my testicle was the first thing to go off into the great beyond. And he like whispers the testicle away into the sky. And he's like, you know, your friend's got pain like that testicle pain in her heart nard.
We used to pop a squat in the trenches all the time and talk directly about the battle coming up while
For
staring at
hours.
each other for hours, intense eye contact as we pooped.
Like, what was wrong with you that you pooped for hours? Don't worry about it, little one.
You need
Yeah,
more
I
flavor,
don't know.
dude.
This show just cracks me up. It's just a weird little jam.
Yeah.
I'm glad it doesn't get like, I don't want to binge it. I'm just kind of glad for the 30 minutes of it, and like, all right, that was
also,
chill.
the girls physically assaulted a dude that probably was kidnapping them, but we still
Yes.
aren't sure about it.
I don't know. I feel like that was one of the weirder, surreal things that I actually liked. Was I'm like, that did seem like it was about to go somewhere dark, and then they just like stabbed the dude.
Oh,
Like,
but where the show really lost me is at the end of the third episode, actually, because I was like, I'm not watching anymore. This is the girl comes back to what's his name, Bear,
Mhm.
and he has a whole tirade that is right that he should rightfully get to be mad about.
Mm-hmm.
No, you fucking left. Didn't even tell me about anything. And that was me and Dan. You not only left me behind, you left Daniel behind. Like we were gonna do this for him. And she comes in with the end of it as like, oh, my grandmother's dying. That makes this worse. That you only came to him when you needed a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, the whole fourth episode is her everybody sitting with the grandmother and her passing.
I really feel like fuck her. Like at this point. Of like, no, you are taking advantage of this relationship and it is one-sided. And I don't think the show knows that.
No, I don't think they're playing it that way at all. Yeah.
Because they're treating it as funny, like he gets to yell, but it's like, oh, but he's gonna be embarrassed because she has a sad thing going on. I'm like, no, he has a big right to be. He's still right to be mad. It does not matter who the fuck is dying on her end of the family. She still fucked him.
Yeah, I don't think the show sees that.
But then again, maybe that's my bias running in of like, well, fuck you, you emotional terrorist.
Yeah, it's like he's a robot that should be wiped out.
No, if he was a robot, he wouldn't have those feelings or claim not to, but exhibit all the symptoms of having them.
All right, let's talk about She-Hulk, which premiered. It's one of the upsides to recording a day late. We got to talk about She-Hulk because they moved the release date to Thursdays, which is messed up. I don't like it. Wednesday is Marvel Day. Wednesday is Star Wars Day. Disney, you've programmed me. You can't start changing that shit.
Thursday used to be Marvel Day. Wasn't it? Fuck. It was Winter
I thought
Soldier.
Friday was Marvel Day for a minute.
Friday was Marvel Day, but now it's Wednesdays.
Yeah, but I think they moved it to Wednesdays for Loki, and they haven't gone back for a while.
Yeah, well,
Ironically,
should've
they
stuck
put her
with
on
Wednesdays.
Thor's Day.
What do we think about this?
I'm digging it so much more than I thought I would, honestly. I mean, obviously, everybody likes Tatiana Maslany. I'm butchering her name, from Orphan Black.
Maslany.
Yeah, she's great, and I expected her to be great. I did not expect her to be quite this funny to me, and I'm really enjoying it. I still think Marvel needs to settle whatever the fuck is going on with their CG people. Like, all of the VFX community is angry at them, but it doesn't like I've seen there apparently was some interview with Jennifer Gao, the head of the show, that they cut a lot of She-Hulk scenes and put in some more Jennifer scenes because of CG restrictions, basically. And I wish they'd just settle that beef, like figure it out. Come on, figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, really give them the time or the fucking
Something.
resources they need.
Because I expected that to really pull me out of it, and it did not. The first episode was fine as far as the CG went, and nothing really bothered me. The humor of it worked so much better than I thought it did, and I love the conceit of a person who does not want this bullshit in their life, and it makes the lawyer showness of it into like this conceit that she's trying to keep going, like almost like Stranger Than Fiction, like when Will Ferrell's trying to figure out if he's in a comedy or a tragedy. It's like she's walking through her life going, no, I don't live in a fucking Hulk show. I live in a lawyer show.
By the way, I as a giant fan of the comics and the fourth wall breaking thing, I love that they did that early, because they opened with the lawyer.
Oh man,
thing,
they get to that real quick.
You know what? I know you're not going to be able to let me get back to the lawyer thing until you know about this, so we're just going to take it.
That was a pretty funny transition.
Yeah.
I was actually right at that point. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch all the get to the She-Hulk. So I was glad when she turned to the camera and told me, no, man, it's gonna be cool. Don't worry, we're gonna do the thing.
She basically goes, "Don't worry, I know your attention span is about to fall off. That's what our statistics have said. So I'm going to tell you about the Hulk parts of this before we go to the lawyer thing again. All right."
So I thought she and Ruffalo had amazing chemistry.
Oh my god, they really feel related. It's great.
They do. They feel like cousins who've been giving each other shit at reunions forever.
They feel like brother and sister of like, don't fucking throw me off a cliff, dick.
Yeah, like only child cousins. Like, this is y'all are tied at family reunions.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothered me in the comics, she gets a full-on blood transfusion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
she's about to die, and Bruce saves him.
If, in my opinion, it is a crime against humanity for him to stay in the Banner form, because a paper cut would make a Chernobyl-level radiation event.
Right.
Like, how deadly is your fucking blood, Bruce? You can't. I mean, I realize that her becoming a Hulk is because of her genetics and everything, but his blood is apparently lethally deadly in drops on a cut.
The EMTs that went to that caught to that car crash are dead.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing. It's like I misunderstood that until right now. I was like, I thought maybe the alien ship had provided the radiation. That like his blood was his blood.
No, because he destroys that blood afterwards. Of like, that's how dangerous our blood is.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's got
that is a problem.
The gamma thingy.
I'm just like, but you should seriously never turn into Banner. That little device you built to keep you need to stay Smart Hulk, Smug Hulk, whatever.
Yeah,
that's a good way for her to. If we reach that at the end of the show, she realizes that it's safer around her for everyone actually for her to be in the Hulk form.
If she stays She-Hulk the whole time,
that might be a good storyline to actually. Maybe that's intentional.
I hope they do that, because, like, for real, how deadly is your blood?
Because I think that is the big misstep. I think is that having their blood be like having her get the powers because of like a random accident is one thing, but it should have been that there was a car crash and she needed the blood and he had to give it to her. It should have been a conscious thing, just like it was in the comics.
It felt like an accidental, like, I dripped on you a little bit, and like, boom, you're a Hulk. Like, how many, if he got hurt at a family reunion, how many Hulks would he make?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the thing is, like, what it comes down to is it's a half-hour show, and they're like, we got to do this and move on, and so they didn't want to think through the consequences of it. So I think I will give them, because it is a Marvel superhero show, because of superheroes, I don't need my this to be 100% realistic.
Sure, I mean, it's not a radioactive spider bite.
Yeah,
I can move on. I can move on past it.
Her genetics are the only reason that it worked like that, and we'll no prize it away. Yeah.
It was the one thing where I was like, wait a minute, that's how she gets the powers? That is quick and a little too easy. But I understand it's because they don't want to spend too much time on it.
The lady's just taking her over and get like I don't need you to put makeup on me. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do,
Yeah,
honey.
drunk girls coming to a rescue in the bedroom was great. Bathroom was great.
All of the Hulk training cracked me up. That was fun. More fun than I thought it would be in the little teaser.
Yeah, it was super fun. Like I say, a lot of this first episode really rests on the chemistry between Maslany and Ruffalo, and they have it. I have a couple minor complaints. The biggest one is I think they should have put 2 episodes out because
they should have.
Fun as this was, this is not the show.
You really want that second half of the pilot of like, okay, now let's see what the actual, because this is the setup for the show.
Because the show is the show is not going to look like this again at all.
No, it's going to be more her punching Tigra or whatever her name is,
Titania.
Yeah, like knocking her cold.
Yeah,
which I love that. I mean, that fight was great, and it also I felt like underscored the Bruce training of like, no, it's not about you. Of course, you're going to win a fight. You're also going to accidentally boys style like punch someone's head into their ass. Like
yeah.
Like it's amazing you didn't kill her.
Just because you don't have an alter ego does not mean that this isn't dangerous.
Yeah. But you're right. Like where does it go from here? Like the second episode is going to immediately be the actual show.
And I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to see it. So that's at least part of it. But yeah, I feel like if you're trying to get people into the show, you got to tell them what the show is, and you haven't done that.
No,
like this is a really fun short about Hulk and She-Hulk, but it's not the show.
And they've done 2 episode reveals before. I don't understand why they're not.
Yeah,
especially this one's got 10 episodes, right?
I don't know.
9 or 10. I think it's 9 or 10.
Yeah. Well, it's half hour, so that would make sense.
And so like they could have dropped 2, I think. I mean, they gave us 2 WandaVisions, which didn't get us anywhere.
No, two other things real quick. One, I love the use of I can't believe they never done this in the comics, but the notion of court sketch room style for the art on the closing sequence.
Yeah, I watched the whole closing sequence. Idea. It looked great.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched the whole closing sequence because I didn't realize apparently they're going to do post-credit sequence for every episode.
My favorite Marvel stinger ever.
But oh my god, the Cap as a Virgin thing was cracking me up.
It was funny anyway.
And then that perfect line that they edited on.
I laughed for a solid minute. The edit timing is so perfect.
Did you see that ass? Like, that ass did not deserve to die a virgin. It's like so sad.
Steve Rogers is not a virgin. He lost his virginity to a girl in 1943 on the USO tour.
Yes, I knew it.
You're not drunk?
Captain America! Fuck!
I laughed out loud for a solid minute.
Oh God, yeah.
Just at the audacity of it. It's so like, good. Oh, you guys.
I cannot wait for more of this, and I'm really shocked. I mean, it's Marvel. Like, I was in the bag to watch it regardless. Like, let's be real. But I did not expect to just, like, love the shit out of it. She's hilarious. I like all the actress that's her bestie. I like her. Obviously, we all like Titania from Good Place.
Jamila, yeah. She's going to be great. Yeah.
Do you think they hired her because it was like, well, we have someone that played this character before? No, that was Tiani in fucking Good Place. Oh,
that's close enough. What did you say? Tiani? What did I say? Titania? Yeah, I'm not hearing the difference.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I'm excited to see more of it. I guess we'll talk about it in 2 weeks because we record on Wednesdays. So
curses.
Yeah, sucks.
All right, let's have our double desserts. We're gonna have triple desserts for a while here. It's gonna be nice. We have She-Hulk. We're gonna have What We Do in the Shadows. We have Harley Quinn. Let's talk Harley. Let's talk What We Do in the Shadows. Okay. And let's talk about the Pine Barrens, which is also a Sopranos episode.
And Shawnee is got to be my favorite thing going on the show.
Oh man, that guy! You want to talk about rolling? I understand he's been hypnotized a lot, but you want to talk about rolling with the punches. Shawnee is your guy.
He's so great.
He's ride or die, man.
Yes, he is.
And you really can't tell if they've hypnotized him this time or not. Like from time to time now. Like you never know if they've actually zapped him or if they're just.
I think he's kind of already. I think he's permanently kind of.
He's got
now.
Brain scramblies. Yeah, he's definitely got brain scramblies.
Y'all remember Men in Black, right? When Will Smith is like, "How many times do you flashy thing this coroner?" And he's like, "I don't know, a few." Like he's like, "You're not worried about brain damage? Little." Like I think that's what Shawnee is to them. He's just like,
they don't care.
Like,
he keeps rolling with it.
Scrambled him. Yeah.
Yeah, his whole like him getting drunker and drunker and telling the Jersey Devil story and then accidentally
Yes.
setting guns off and shit.
Yep. When he comes out and shoots himself in the foot.
Oh God! And I really, for a moment, I thought, "Fuck, Shawnee's gonna kill the Jersey Devil. Like he's really gonna come out and do it." And then no, he runs out and immediately shoots himself.
I also love Laszlo and Nandor.
yeah, Nandor.
Yeah, their man time. Yeah,
They fight like vampires would fight. They're just like, you shot me. It's like it's
shooting at
vampires.
you.
He's shooting at you. Yeah.
Their whole thing, them not believing in the Jersey, like that's just something that vampires made up.
Yeah.
And then like really said, like, is it him? Oh my God, look at the balls. Like,
look at his balls.
And then simultaneously having both the girls' night, which is hilarious, and then watching Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Yep.
And then simultaneously Guillermo inviting his whole family over, which I genuinely, it did not click what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it instantly. I was like, this is a family full of people who are related to Van Helsing. Like,
yes.
It took me until the abuela took him aside, and I was like,
yes.
Oh,
and then
fuck, that's right.
God. Yeah, it literally took me up until the moment Guillermo gets it of like, oh shit.
My funny thing, my favorite thing about this episode, and there was a lot, but the first moment they show Nadja, and she's like, it's nice, I have a house to myself. And then they show Guillermo, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, they both think that the other person isn't there.
Yeah, I love, like, this house is big enough that they've gone through an extended period of time thinking they're alone.
Yep. And when they see each other, and they both have that short circuit holy shit moment.
Yeah.
I died.
I can't believe that Nadja rolls with it for a moment.
I know. She's my girlfriend and my maid.
Because he's my lover and
my boss. And then the grandmother comes up like that she is the devil. We like
this fucking prick cousin. Is it cousin? Like that's just constantly like, hey, does that blouse come in a men's shirt? Like, fuck you, man.
Dude. Also, I love that he gets to admit like his like I'm also yes, I work for a vampire and I'm gay. I can't believe you work for a vampire.
We all knew you were gay.
We all knew the gay part? Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I love that he's just been piling up lies for years, and he just keeps like, they bring him up, and he's like, oh, fuck, I said that, didn't I? Shit.
Yeah, it's just hard to keep them all straight.
Yeah, this show just continues to be friggin' gold.
Yeah, it does. This season in particular.
Shawnee's your best friend? Oh.
Well, I guess. I tell you, I can't watch that Mamma Mia. It reminds me of the bastards I've fathered over the years.
I love not her imitation of Laszlo is great.
Yes.
She somehow does Matt Berry, but still with her cheeseball accent.
Weird accent. I don't know what I know you're trying to insult me, but it sounds like life goals achieved, my friend.
All right, let's talk Harley Quinn. Speaking of weird, and also I don't know if it's better than the second season because there's not quite enough King Shark and Bane for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
he has to get back his ice cream maker.
His pasta maker, Les. Get it
pasta
right.
maker. Sorry, I was thinking that dude in Star Trek or Star Wars.
This week's latest episode that focused on Joker and a sitcom version of Joker was glorious.
The whole opening, when they started the song, I almost texted all of y'all of like, we're all watching this, right?
It addressed a thing that I didn't think they would address of like Joker's new relationship. I'm like, okay, that's a funny thing that I'm sure they won't go into because like, how does a supervillain also be a stepdad or whatever?
Yeah.
So them actually going into it is like, wow, what balls to go over and make Joker a stepdad and really making the effort. And he's still like super villainous, but in a motherling
like,
PTA
I've dealt
way.
with Nemesis before.
Yeah. Like,
Debbie.
Gary keeps shooting people and he's like, Gary, I told you. God damn it.
We're not doing that anymore. Okay.
They do so many riffs to the Burton Batman.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They're throwing the money, but it's real money this time. He's got the outfit. They must not have got the licensing for a Prince song, but
but the hat and everything. Yeah, and the full sitcom intro with the wait till they get a load of us or wait till they get a load of me. Like sitcom is just so good.
The laugh track, I was like, oh, sorry, let me turn that off.
That everybody is aware of his past, which is like is a year ago. Like he was recently Joker.
It makes me wonder, like, okay, so Gotham works on some sort of system that is not like the rest of America, like where the supervillain is like, okay, well, he's changed. I mean, look, he's not killing people anymore. He's gone a whole week.
The funniest thing of the entire episode doesn't even belong to Joker. It's their treatment of Two-Face.
Oh my God, that was so great.
My name is Two-Face.
Like, man, are you trolling me? You were taking a lot of the fun out of this.
Gordon's level of not getting it is actually a slight on Two-Face of like, you are really pissing me off, dude. It's my whole thing. It's
I am Two-Face. It's my name.
It's like I did like Les, you were right. Like, are you doing this on purpose? Are you trolling? Like, what
I
is?
feel like you're trolling me. What the fuck? Yeah, I was so I mean, I remain so impressed. But the only thing the show could possibly be doing better is every episode just give me like a 5-minute G.I. Joe style PSA with King Shark at the end of every episode.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, he just needs to be in every one.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
he needs to be in every episode. I don't care why or how.
By the way, I did love the stinger of this week's episode is Harley and Ivy pulling back up from New Orleans. They're like, what the fuck? We were gone for 4 days.
I did love that because I knew I again addressed something I didn't think they were going to address of like, how long was this? Okay, they'll probably not address that. And they're like, we were gone for 4 days. How the fuck did any of this happen?
We were gone for 4 days and Joker is mayor. What the fuck?
Wait, how though? That's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This show is delightful. And in some ways, it shouldn't work for me as well as it does because it is taking a shit all over these characters that I love.
But it manages to not just somehow make the plot decisions work, but like even the visual gags work better than they ought to for me. There's a moment when Two-Face calls to tell Joker that he's got his kid. Like, just in case I'm not clear, I've kidnapped you. Yes, that's clear. But Joker is dealing with Gordon a lot. He's like sitting on a throne and like he pulls out a remote and just drives the float away. And I don't know why it's so visually funny, but it fucking works.
Because he's working through traffic less. He's going left
he like
and
swerves
right.
around people and it's so
Even though,
good.
like, wait, what traffic are you swerving around in this? You're killing everyone on the road. There's no way.
It. Like with the parade floats dragging, like it's so and you're just looking at all of it is the same shit he would have gassed the city with a year ago.
And the great thing about it is too is like he's so committed to the relationship. He's like, okay, yeah, I won't be mayor then.
Yeah, no, whatever. Yeah, like he's really him turning over a new leaf is the craziest gag he's ever pulled. It's the greatest to me.
Yeah.
The craziest trick I ever pulled was to trick everyone into thinking I'm sane.
Oh God, that's don't tell me you're some kind of Joe bro. They're called Sane Clown Posse.
Sane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
It's so good. Fuck.
Yep.
Barbara showing up with a sign, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching Batgirl hold up a Joker for Mayor sign and kind of getting where she's coming from.
And everybody in the news that's interviewed is like, well, no, I mean, I'm not for him, but then he announced, healthcare.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not just like a socialist. I am a socialist.
Oh, just going full Joker with it was so great. Yeah.
All right. I think that wraps it up for us this week. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
What's wrong about Orville?
Thank you. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our patrons. Reminder, you can go to patreon.com/tvdudes. Throw us that $1 an episode. Listen to us talk. Right now, we're talking about a bunch of movies. We're going to talk about Day Shift. We talked about Prey. We talked about RRR. And until next time,
TV Dudes out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.